Hello and a warm welcome to you. I'm Dr. Jennifer Seelig, core faculty at Pacifica Graduate Institute and the curator for this video and seminar series on Dr. James Hillman and a therapy of ideas. Thank you for participating with us in this exciting and groundbreaking venture where we bring together some of the brightest minds working in the field of archetypal psychology, students and scholars, colleagues and cherished friends of Hillman's, all sharing with you one idea on which Hillman performed his unique form of therapy, which was to take ideas and, in his words, to bring in new ideas so you can see the same old patterns differently.
So the second sense of the therapy of ideas has to do with reviving ideas that feed the soul. In revisioning psychology, he says the soul hungers for ideas.
So what I have in mind to do today is to talk a little bit about a few of these therapeutic ideas, just a few, because there are hundreds of wonderful ideas about therapy embedded in Hillman's work, but I'm just going to extract a few, given our time. And then move from there to a brief discussion about how these ideas might shift our goals and moves, our strategies about what we're going to do in psychotherapy. And then close with a few therapeutic stories or scenes that I think will give a flavor or a sense of how this kind of work might feel and how it might move.
The title of Hillman's book, A Terrible Love of War, really captures what we're up against: the terror and the love. The title reflects the complex, paradoxical nature of the subject at hand. Though war is much more than a subject, Hillman would say. It's a living phenomenon, he'd say. A living phenomenon that's breathing down our necks every day, whether we want to recognize it, face it, or not. And that's exactly what Hillman urges us to do. To turn around, look war in the eye, and see it for what it is.
So a lot of people would think of heaven as a place that they hope to arrive at someday. Hillman would see it not as a symbol of let's say, a symbol of childhood delight or pleasure the way Freud might, and not as a symbol for our wish to be happy. He didn't want to do it that way either, but somewhere in between. We can talk about heaven as an image in itself. It doesn't stand for anything in particular. It's an image in itself. And if we can relate to an image and keep that image intact, we are in the sphere of religion.
All right, I've organized this talk into 3 sections. First is getting situated and the dreaming landscape. Second section is befriending dream images, and here I'm going to offer a toolkit, some of the methods or approaches that we can work with, tools that we can work with in relating to our dreams from the point of view of James Hillman in archetypal psychology. And then thirdly, I'd like to mention something of his work with dream and the underworld, and also elaboration on the anima mundi.
So what we will be doing is engaging Hillman in his therapy on erotic entanglements and messes, seeing the God, the divinity, within the suffering or the pathologies of love. And he calls this Aphrodite a love that inspires interest in all kinds of emotional suffering and crazy fantasies, absurd symptoms, and repeated mistakes. So the hope, too, is that by seeing through the phenomenon of love's tortures leads us to a theophany, which means the seeing of a God. And love is one example of the immediate and gripping experiences of the psyche. We've all experienced it.